The void of space shimmered as the Arar vessel emerged from its hyperdrive jump. Neptune's swirling storms loomed large in the view screen, a planetary spectacle that momentarily captivated the alien crew. Captain Zayrath, his iridescent scales reflecting the dim light of the bridge, leaned forward in anticipation. This system, unremarkable on their star charts, held the key to their species' survival, or so they hoped. Scanners detecting no advanced civilizations, reported Navigator Thesai, her tentacles dancing across the holographic interface. Primitive radio waves only. As Zayrath nodded, a flicker of disappointment crossed his features. Proceed to the third planet. Perhaps we'll find. A blinding flash erupted from the darkness, bathing the bridge in harsh light. Alarms blared as the ship rocked violently. Impossible! Thesai's voice cracked with panic. Energy signature unlike anything in our database. Zayrath's inner eyelids blinked rapidly, trying to process the situation. How could a supposedly primitive world possess such firepower? His racing thoughts were interrupted by a crackling transmission, the universal translator struggling to keep up. Unidentified vessel, you have entered restricted space. Power down immediately and prepare to be boarded. The voice was cold, authoritative. Zayrath exchanged glances with his science officer, Neres, whose bioluminescent patches pulsed with anxiety. They shouldn't have this capability, Neres whispered. Our stealth systems are clearly ineffective. Zayrath finished, his tone grim. Open a channel. As Zayrath attempted to explain their peaceful intentions, a squadron of sleek vessels materialized around them. Designs that seemed both angular and primitive, yet shimmering with an energy field that defied explanation. Admiral Darrow stood on the bridge of the UES horizon, her weathered face illuminated by holographic displays. Years of defending Earth's borders against less-than-friendly alien visitors had honed her instincts to a razor's edge. Status report, she barked, eyes fixed on the alien vessel. Lieutenant Commander Mick Lane, hunched over his console, rattled off a stream of data. Ma'am, their technology is inconsistent, hyperdrive capabilities but minimal shielding, advanced sensors, yet they didn't detect our defense grid. Darrow's brow furrowed. A trap. Unlikely, chimed in Dr. Kim Fan, the ship's xenobiologist. Her fingers flew across a handheld tablet, analyzing real-time data. Biosigns indicate extreme stress responses. They're genuinely surprised. The Admiral nodded. Maintain lockdown protocols. Prepare for possible boarding action. But let's not be hasty. These humans, as they called themselves, moved with practiced efficiency. Zayrath watched, a mix of awe and trepidation coursing through him, as armed figures materialized directly onto his bridge. The technology required for such precise teleportation was thought to be centuries beyond Arar capabilities. One figure stepped forward, helmet retracting to reveal a stern-faced human male. I am Major Quentin Faulkner. You will comply with all instructions. Any hostile action will be met with immediate force. Zayrath raised his upper appendages slowly, a universal gesture of surrender. We mean no harm. We come seeking aid for our people. Faulkner's eyes narrowed, but a flicker of curiosity passed across his face. He tapped a device on his wrist, and a shimmering field enveloped the Arar crew. A containment field. Our stealth undone so easily. Neres murmured, scientific curiosity momentarily overriding her fear. But the energy signature, it's unlike anything in our databases. Escorted off their ship, Zayrath's gaze was drawn to a massive structure looming in the distance. A space station on a scale that defied belief. Its design was a patchwork of styles, sections cobbled together from what appeared to be primitive materials, beside gleaming hyper-advanced modules. Dr. Elias Mbaye, Earth's foremost xenolinguist, paced nervously in the station's secure conference room. The chance to study a new alien language had him practically vibrating with excitement. Dr. Admiral Darrow's voice cut through his reverie. Remember, this is a first contact situation. We need information, but tread carefully. Mbaye nodded, composing himself as the door slid open, revealing the alien delegation. He couldn't help but gasp. Their bioluminescent patches pulsed in complex patterns, a form of nonverbal communication he'd only theorized about. Fascinating, he breathed, earning a sharp look from Darrow. The lead alien, Captain Zerath, spoke first. Your technology, it surpasses our understanding, yet our scans showed only primitive radio waves. How is this possible? Darrow and Bay exchanged glances. The Admiral chose her words carefully. Earth's history is complicated. We've learned to be cautious. As the conversation unfolded, it became clear that the Aurar's visit was born of desperation. A mysterious affliction was ravaging their species, and they believed Earth held the key to a cure. Zerath's head spun, trying to reconcile these contradictions. The conference room itself was a microcosm of human duality. Cutting-edge holographic displays alongside simple wooden furniture. Your species intrigues us, Nerys ventured. Your technological development seems non-linear. Bay offered a wry smile. We've had our setbacks, and our leaps forward. Before more details could emerge, the door burst open. A disheveled human male in civilian attire rushed in, data pad in hand. Admiral Darrow, he panted. Long-range sensors have detected, you need to see this. The Admiral's posture stiffened. Zerath felt a chill. Whatever news this man brought, it clearly spelled trouble. Jake Foster, a low-level sensor technician, had never imagined he'd be briefing top brass and alien visitors. Yet here he was, hands shaking as he brought up sensor data. It's a fleet, Admiral, he said. Massive, like nothing we've seen before. The holographic display flickered to life, revealing a swarm of angular, crystalline ships approaching the solar system. Dr. Fan's face paled. Those energy signatures, they match the descriptions in the Aurar database. It's the Zin. Darrow's eyes narrowed. The same Zin you mentioned were expanding aggressively in your sector? Zerath nodded gravely. They must have followed us. Admiral, you must understand, the Zin are relentless. They'll stop at nothing. A piercing alarm cut through the conversation. Red emergency lights bathed the room. Multiple hyperdrive signatures detected, Foster said, voice cracking. They're here. In the sudden chaos, Zerath locked eyes with Admiral Darrow. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between them. Whatever their differences, they now faced a common threat. The true test of humanity's capabilities and the fate of both species was about to begin. The klaxons blared throughout the station, their urgent wail contrasting with the tense silence in the conference room. Admiral Darrow's face hardened with resolve as she barked orders into her comm device. The Aurar delegation watched in stunned silence, their own fear mingling with fascination. Admiral, Bay called out above the din, we need everything the Aurar know about the Zin. Zerath tried to steady himself. We'll share what we can. But I must warn you, they're more formidable than. Formidable is one thing, Darrow cut in. Unstoppable is another. Let's see which one they really are. Holographic displays sprang up, showing real-time data of the approaching Zin. Humans in various uniforms rushed about, movements precise and purposeful. Dr. Fan approached the Aurar with a handheld device. With your permission, I'd like to scan you. We might find a vulnerability in the Zin. Nerys tilted her head, curiosity shining through. Your technology, it's beyond anything we've encountered. How did you? Who says it was quick? Fan responded cryptically before the device emitted a series of beeps. Her eyes widened as she read the results. This is impossible. Meanwhile, the Zin fleet surged inward. Admiral Darrow quickly made contact with General Lindholm on the lunar base. General, she said, stand by with Operation Sunburst. Lindholm nodded, expression grim. Our Q batteries are charged and ready. Zerath's tentacles quivered in confusion. Q batteries? We detected no such weapons in your system. That's the point, Darrow replied with a tight smile. We don't advertise our defenses. Moments later, the main display zoomed in on the moon. As the Zin fleet closed in, the lunar surface shimmered, revealing hidden weapon emplacements. Beams of blinding energy lanced out, slicing through crystallines in ships as if they were made of paper. Nerys gasped. The sheer power. They're vaporizing matter on contact. Zerath exchanged a look with the Admiral. I see now why you hid your capabilities. Darrow's lips thinned into a grim line. We've learned it's better for threats to underestimate us. Despite the devastating barrage, the Xin regrouped. Their swarm tactics had held off countless species, and they adapted quickly. A portion of their fleet veered toward Mars, apparently targeting hidden installations. Colonel Evers's voice crackled over the station's loudspeakers. Admiral, we have multiple incoming dropships near Valles Marineris, requesting orbital support. Stand by, Colonel, Darrow replied. Lunar Battery Omega surgical strikes only. We don't want to reshape the entire canyon. En Mars, the Ares Brigade, an elite human force concealed in underground bunkers, erupted from hidden bases. Deploying advanced exosuits and atmospheric craft, they launched a blistering counterattack on the Xin landing forces. From the station's vantage point, the Arar watched in awe. Despite the Xin's superior numbers, the humans fought with cunning and adaptability that left the invaders reeling. It's incredible, Zerath whispered. They used dust storms, crater ambushes, even the low gravity to their advantage. The Xin can't keep up. Mars is practically their fortress, Nerys added, eyes wide. Meanwhile, in orbit, the Xin tried to regroup, but the humans were prepared for their every move. Admiral Darrow orchestrated a coordinated strike across the solar system. Each time the Xin adapted, humanity unveiled yet another hidden layer of technology or strategy. From the moon's massive energy projectors to Earth's own defense grid, it was clear the humans had spent centuries, perhaps longer, perfecting these tactics. And at last, with a series of precision attacks, the Xin began to retreat, their once cohesive swarm reduced to ragged pockets fleeing into hyperspace. Cheers erupted throughout the station. Humans embraced each other, exulting in a victory that had once seemed impossible. Yet among the celebration, Admiral Darrow stood apart, her expression dark with deeper concerns. She turned to Captain Zerath and his science officer. We need to talk about your people's affliction, and why it led you here in the first place. The Arar exchanged uneasy glances. We believed Earth held the key to curing our disease, Zerath said slowly. But the more I see, the more I realize there's so much we don't understand. Darrow gestured for them to follow. Come with me. In a private chamber adjacent to the command center, she activated a star map. The projections cycled through Earth's past, showing civilizations rising and falling, and humans present at each stage. What you're about to learn, the Admiral began, has been hidden from the galaxy for millennia. Humanity isn't simply a young race that stumbled into spaceflight. We are far older, and we've prepared for threats like the Xin for an equally long time. Zerath's scales glimmered in disbelief. You're ancient? Darrow's expression was tinged with regret. We've seen too many civilizations destroyed by cosmic threats. So we hid, building defenses in secret. Over time, we learned it's best not to broadcast our full capabilities, until we absolutely have to. Nerys stepped forward, her voice trembling. That affliction killing our people. You hinted you've encountered something like it before? The Admiral nodded. We've learned the universe has ways of testing species on the brink of higher evolution. We suspect that's what you're experiencing. We can help, but it won't be easy. Zerath felt both relief and awe. Then, we are allies now? Far more than allies, Darrow replied. What happens next will reshape the galaxy. Your arrival, the Xin incursion. They're just the beginning. Outside the private chamber, the station remained abuzz with the aftermath of battle. Xin wreckage drifted through space. Human salvage crews, ships that had stayed hidden in asteroid fields, emerged to secure the debris. Repairs were already underway on Mars and the Moon. Looking out a wide observation window, Zerath could see Earth, beautiful and mysterious, seemingly undamaged by the conflict it had just endured. How many other secrets did this ancient planet hold? Nerys, turning from the same window, murmured. We came here seeking a cure, but we've found something far greater. Zerath nodded. And if Admiral Darrow speaks truly, this might be only the first step in a journey spanning eons. A soft chime signaled Dr. Fan's approach. She gave the Arar a reassuring smile. Captain Zerath, Neres, we've set up a joint research initiative to combine our knowledge of quantum biology with yours. If we succeed, we'll not only save your people, but perhaps unlock insights that will protect us all from greater threats yet to come. Zerath exhaled slowly, feeling both apprehension and hope. They had witnessed humanity's hidden might, faced a formidable foe together, and survived. Now, a greater purpose called them forward. Count us in, he said, meeting Dr. Fan's gaze. Let's begin. In the silent darkness beyond the station, starlight glimmered off shattered Zin ships. Yet for Earth and the Arar, this was far from an ending. It was a new dawn, a moment that would usher in an era of cooperation, exploration, and perhaps even peace. For humanity, ancient guardians in disguise, and for the Arar seeking salvation, the real voyage was only just beginning.